So we're all in the same boat. Everyone's sitting at home, essentially locked up. A lot of people aren't able to work. Thank God I've been working from home for 17 years. But a lot of people don't have that possibility to work from home. A lot of small businesses, coffee shops, restaurants, people that rely on walk-in traffic, and just people in general, companies that rely on other people to have a business are now essentially shut down, mandated by the government. And if they don't, like certain walk-in businesses like restaurants, coffee shops, like I've already said, bakeries, they're closed. If they open up, they get, I think a $50,000 fine in the city of Vancouver as a result of the COVID virus. And this topic is eating me up alive. It's pissing me off so bad you have no idea. And I'm sure a lot of people are even more angry than I am. If I had a business that like a restaurant that I wanted to open but I couldn't because the government said if you open that you're going to get a $50,000 fine, I would lose it. Does not anyone understand the paramount damage that it's going to cause our economy every single day that these businesses are left closed? It's not just the restaurants, it's the people who work at the restaurants. It's you're buying food supplies, the people driving the trucks to deliver the food for you. The chain of jobs that have been lost as a result of this BS coronavirus is unbelievable. And not only that, but then you start thinking everyone's worried about the deaths. So, you got to flatten the curve, and we have to bring the death rate from corona right down almost to zero before we open up these shops. Well, how about the people who are running these or want to keep their businesses open but they can't? A lot of these people, they've worked their whole lives trying to open a restaurant, and just opening a restaurant and it becoming successful is a feat in itself. But now you have the government intervening, telling us, no, we can't. You cannot open up restaurants. You're going to harm the public. You're going to spread the coronavirus everywhere. So you have to close down. You cannot stay open. And what are they going to do? They're sitting at home. They have bills to pay. They probably have rent to pay. You're sure the government said they're going to help you out with your rent and they're going to help you out with your expenses, but it's not going to be enough. And they know that. Everyone knows that. They're not going to give you the exact same amount of money you would be if your business was open. They got to pay for property tax. They have to pay for the property tax at their home if they own a house or a condo or whatever the hell they own. They have to pay for gas. They have to pay for food for themselves. They have to pay for their children if they have them. Like this whole effect just trickles right down, and people just don't seem to see that. They just see the death rate and they're scared watching the news, which is total bullshit. Sure, of course there's people dying from Covid19, but let's go look at those numbers specifically in Canada and specifically in BC. Those numbers are under 40 for a population of about 3 million. So if you do the numbers, let's go take a look at the numbers actually and see exactly what they are. So the actual population in British Columbia 2019 is 5,071,000. So let's go see exactly at this second how many people have died from the coronavirus in British Columbia. So here are the deaths, and this is reporting from today. So there's 1,266 cases. That makes it sound very cataclysmic. 1,266 cases. That's people that are sick. More than 97% of those, 98% will come out of this completely fine. They will not die. 783 have recovered as of this point, they're telling us. So the actual deaths are 39 people have died out of 5,073,000. So for that, they got to lock down all of British Columbia, all of Canada, all of the world for these amount of deaths. Obviously, this is just for BC. So they locked down all of Vancouver and all of British Columbia as a result of 39 deaths. Now, can anyone tell me how many people do you think are going to die as a result of being locked down? Some of the ways they're going to die include suicide, drug overdose, drinking, and stuff like that. But a lot of it will be from depression and suicide because people are not going to be able to pay their bills. They're going to lose their homes. They're going to lose their businesses. And there's going to be a percentage of people that will kill themselves. Now, does anyone think that there's going to be possibly 39 suicides as a result of the COVID-19 BS epidemic. I do. And I think this is way overblown. And even if you think it is a real crisis, 39 deaths out of 5,073,000 people does not seem like a real crisis to me. And a lot of people are telling us, the health minister is telling us that we're doing a great job. The numbers are low because we're at home, we're flattening the curve. Just a bunch of BS. It's nonsense. And this is all hype. And the end result is we're going to have a crashed economy. Everything's going to crash. The unemployment statistics are going through the roof. As soon as they started shutting down everything, obviously everyone lost their job immediately. And that's going to have a pummeling effect into other areas. Obviously, real estate's going to go down. From there, you're going to have just even more unemployment because if the food stores go down, if restaurants close, if coffee shops close, well, that means you're not going to need someone to, for instance, deliver the food, deliver whatever they have at coffee shops. So those truck drivers are going to be out of work. The importers who import the food are going to be out of work. And so it's just a huge trickle effect that will continue having a bigger amount of unemployment as a result of 39 deaths so far in British Columbia. Unbelievable. And then you have this poor guy here, Federico Fuoco. He's got an Italian restaurant on Commercial Drive. After 20 years of operation, he's now closing his doors. And he cites the final straw, the nail in the coffin, as he said it, was COVID-19. He said here, in addition to rent increase, thousands in monthly taxes being paid, wage increase requests, the COVID-19 pandemic was the final nail, the nail in the coffin for the small business. There's going to be a lot of people feeling that pinch because they rely on walk-through traffic. If they don't have that, obviously they're done. They've had to close their doors. If they wanted to open their doors, they can't. And here's some people, something a lot of people haven't pondered. How about the people who don't feel like going out, who are scared, who have underlying issues, the elderly? Stay home. Be safe. The people who want to go out and risk their lives can go visit Federico's shop, can go visit Starbucks, can go visit Tim Hortons, can go go watch a movie or whatever else. You can't do anything because everything's closed, mandated by the government. So they're giving us absolutely no chance to prop up these businesses. Sure, Federico's Supper Club would see a large decline in the amount of people actually visiting his restaurant, but at least we could give him the opportunity of visiting his place, having a nice Italian dinner, but we can't because now he's closed forever. And this is the only one I've seen so far. I know there's got to be countless others. I haven't looked into it, but obviously this is going to continue happening. These people can't keep floating their businesses and paying mortgages or rents and so forth. They have expenses to pay. They're not going to be able to do all that while they're sitting at home with no cash flow coming in. It's just not going to be able to happen. And here's another article. More than 120,000 jobs lost in BC food sector since pandemic began. Well, who's actually closing these businesses? Once again, it goes back to the government. They want to save lives. Meanwhile, really, there's only been, how many was it again? 39 deaths in all of British Columbia. 39 deaths in BC. So they're willing to sacrifice the whole economy for these 39 deaths. Now, something we have to understand here is that these people, most of them would have died anyways because they had underlying issues. And up to a certain point in this pandemic, I think it was last week, the amount of deaths coming from particular care homes in North Van made up the lump sum of people dying from COVID-19. These were old people in care homes. They were basically on their deathbeds. They had underlying issues. They were basically on their way out. It's shitty to say, but it's true. These people were going to die anyways. And so we're going to close the whole economy as a result of COVID-19, even though most of these deaths are, they would have happened anyways. These are old people. They had underlying issues, and they were going to die anyways. But that doesn't matter. All that matters is the pandemic. All that matters is the 1,266 cases, just to scare the hell out of everybody. So we all stay home, we all acquiesce, sit at home, and what, watch Netflix all day? It's beyond ridiculous. And I'm just wondering when people are going to start standing up for their rights. We're all sitting at home. Who's going to pay your mortgage? Who's going to pay my mortgage? There's going to be a time, there's going to be a point when people say enough is enough. This is not to take away from anyone dying from COVID-19. This is to have some common sense and critical thinking skills to understand that there doesn't need to be a full shutdown. If you're sick, if you're elderly, if you just are scared, you can stay home. You can stay home from work if you want, as long as you want. Everybody else can get on with their lives. We don't need to shut down the whole world as a result of such a small amount of deaths. The hysteria has taken foothold, and the number one perpetrator of that, of course, is the mainstream media, pushing narratives, scaring the hell out of everybody. Every morning, they've got the health minister out there. Every morning, they got the prime minister out there with their COVID-19 update. Continuously pushing fear, scaring the fuck out of everybody on a constant basis. But if you actually look at the numbers, let's go look at the COVID-19 numbers, first of all, for Canada, and we'll look at the whole world and see, does it actually make sense to shut everything down and have a fear-mongering festival worldwide? Okay, so let's look at the deaths now. This is across 7 billion people. 7 billion worldwide. 81,230 deaths worldwide out of 7 billion. Do you think they need to lock down the whole world as a result of 81,000 deaths? Yes, it continues to rise, just like anything continues to rise. If people are driving, the amount of people dying from car accidents will continue to rise. If people are taking drugs, the amount of drug overdoses will continue to rise if they're taking drugs. Let's take a look at the numbers here now. So let's go look at Canada specifically. So right now they have 466 deaths in Canada. This is a population of 37 million people. So it's just under a million. One death for every, 900,000 people? Is that a pandemic? Is that an epidemic? I don't think so. Even if you look at the numbers in the United States, you've got 12,000 deaths. This is a population that is at over, 330 million people? The numbers don't lie. The numbers just show you that this thing is way overblown. And we need to ask ourselves, why exactly are they blowing this up so bad? Why exactly are we all locked up in our houses? And that's something I'm going to get to in another video. But for now, just look at those numbers and ask yourself, does this really make sense? To me, it doesn't make sense. But what does make sense is the amount of deaths that are going to happen because of suicide, because of the lost jobs, people losing their businesses. Probably divorces will happen as a result of all this because you're not going to have money. You start arguing with your wife. There's a plateau of different things that can happen as a result of this whole shutdown, which, like I said, a bunch of times is ridiculous. But guys, thanks for letting me vent. Please hit the like button, hit subscribe, and please leave some comments below. Thanks for sharing this video, and I really appreciate you guys watching it. Have a great day. Thank you so much.